Welcome to the fourth lesson of Wise SCADA Screen Design. In this lesson, we will continue explaining control components. First, let's explain how to use a button as a push button. In the value field, we select a Boolean type tag. To observe the change in this tag, let's add a checkbox to the screen. We select the same tag again. Now I am starting the runtime. When I press the button, the checkbox becomes checked. When I release the button, the checkmark is removed. This represents a standard push-button application. A checkbox can also be configured to function as a state button. In the advanced section of the checkbox, under Appearance, we change the style from normal to button. To monitor the state of this checkbox, I have also added a standard checkbox to the form. I am starting the runtime again. When I click the checkbox, it indicates its state, and we can observe the same value in the standard checkbox below. When we uncheck it, you can see the color changing as well. Let's repeat the same operation directly on the button itself. This demonstrates the state button application. In many automation applications, we also want to change the background color. This allows us to easily verify if the button is active. We assign the same tag to the backcolor property. When the value is true, let's choose green as the color. I am starting the runtime. As observed, it toggles between green and the default color. Optionally, we could choose red instead of the normal color. This way, it can be used as a green-red start-stop button. Another control similar to the checkbox is the radio button. This requires a slightly different explanation. I place them inside a group box. I added 3 radio buttons. Then, I duplicated them. I also placed another set directly on the form. By definition, only one radio button can be selected within the same parent group. When one option is selected, the others are automatically deselected. This behavior applies separately to each group they belong to. As you can see, the radio buttons on the form can be selected independently. And the ones inside the group box can also be selected independently. I will not explain every control individually. Instead, I selected some commonly used controls. For example, we can use this control to enter DateTime formatted data. I configured tag 3 accordingly. Now I am adding a text box. I will select tag 3 for both controls. I also selected tag 3 for the DateTimePicker. I want to add another DateTimePicker to the form. For this one, I need to change its style. Specifically, the format parameter, I set it to long time. Now I am starting the runtime. We will see the difference using both controls. In the first DateTimePicker, we can select only the date. You can see the selected date in the text box below. By clicking Elsewhere, we confirm the selection. Tag 3 is bound, but this field is currently in edit mode. Using the arrow keys, I can change the day values. When I click Elsewhere, the value is confirmed. And we can see the updated value here. The time part is currently 16:32 and 39 seconds. We can change it using the arrow keys as well. Or by typing the value directly and pressing Enter. Now, I would like to explain the invisible button control. As the name suggests, this button is invisible. Let's resize it to make it quite large. When this invisible area is clicked, for example, we can change the value of tag 1. To observe tag 1, let's move this checkbox outside. However, we can't move it now. So, we reposition the checkbox like this. And place the button here. This button will not be visible in this area of the screen. However, clicking this area will change the checkbox value. As you can see, even though no visible object exists here, the value changes due to the invisible button. One control that is especially useful in reports is MonthCalendar. It allows us to select a specific date range. With this control, we can select a defined range of dates. There is a related parameter in the advanced section. By configuring values like 1,1, 1,2, or 2,1, we can display calendars horizontally. This allows selecting dates across multiple months. In the Properties section, it has two values. One for start and one for end. Let's use tag 3 as start and tag 4 as end. We can monitor these values using two text boxes. I am selecting the tags now. I also need to assign both tags to the month calendar. Let's start the runtime. Now we can select date ranges using the mouse. The selected dates are automatically written to the tags. Currently, I can select a maximum of 7 days. I cannot select more than that. When we click here, the selection range expands. It can extend across months or years. Why could we select only 7 days? This is due to a specific parameter. The maximum selection count parameter. If we set it to 365, we can select a full year range. This is especially useful in reports where we need data between two specific dates. One of my favorite controls in Wise SCADA is the WebView 2 control. When you add this control to a form, you can display websites by defining a source address. You can also play videos or audio files. I added fulltech.com.tr as an example. Now I am starting the runtime. And we can visit the Wise SCADA website from here. This control can be used for many different purposes. For example, displaying security camera feeds. It can also be used for training videos or other multimedia content. Thank you for watching our video.